So let's hold hands while we talk about this, okay? Because it is my personal belief that no relationship will be 100% reciprocal all the time. And that's the importance of understanding charitable relationships. Because even in marriage, you're not gonna always be able to meet or give exactly what your partner is giving. Even when it comes down to love languages, you get what I'm saying? It's like, if your love language is different than your partner's, and say your gift, you know, your love language is receiving gifts or giving gifts. Let's say receiving gifts. But your partner's love language is, I don't know, words of affirmation. Not being funny, but to the person who is on the giving end of gifts, that can seem more expensive than me telling you, baby, today you are beautiful and spectacular and, you know, all the good things. So is it really about reciprocity, or is it about charity? And what I mean by that is, why are we measuring? And in reciprocity, that's typically what we do. We are measuring. Is what I give what I get, versus I'm giving and I know that God will restore me because I'm giving to glorify God, not simply to please this person. Not to say that it doesn't please the person, but I'm glorifying God in my relationship. And this means I constantly offer up. And this is why it's important for givers to get with givers. Because just being honest, it's taken me some time to learn this in regards to emotional intelligence. But when I think about like giving or like filling my cup, and or vice versa, my person being filled, I cannot take the burden of filling my person's cup. And I don't even expect that from my person, because the capacity that I have is, not saying it can't be stretched. I'm not saying that. And it is expansive. And I understand that the Lord God will continue to increase my capacity. But if my partner is strictly relying on me to pour into them, then the day that I'm not able to, then I'm a sucky partner. You get what I'm saying? It's like, no, that's unrealistic and it's very toxic. When it comes down to pouring, I've learned how to pour from the overflow and go to God for Him to replenish me, for Him to restore me, so I can continue to pour from the overflow. And when I start feeling like I'm depleting or I'm getting to the brim of that cup, I start saying no. And being honest, I start saying no before I get to the brim of the cup, because I understand that I want to be able to continuously give from a place of joy and love and not resentment. Because once you start looking at what you're losing by giving, it starts to become resentful. You're giving begrudgingly, you know? And that's when it's like, I really don't have this to give, but I'm gonna give it. And so it's not coming from a pure heart. It's not coming from a pure space. And when you don't receive that thing back, now you're screaming reciprocity. You know, it's like you put an expectation on that, because in all actuality, again, you didn't really have it to give, or you didn't have it in your heart to give it, but you're giving under the assumption or under the impression of reciprocity, because you're expecting something back from this person. And I literally just posted an old video, like an on this day memory of having this conversation with God. And, you know, the timing of it all, right? It's hitting home. I just believe that for me personally, not saying that there's not a place for reciprocity in all relationships. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when the relationship is only built on reciprocity, it becomes very transactional. And that is, to me, very performative. It's not genuine. Because now when, like I said, perhaps I'm not able to show up for you, you're going to hold my feet to the fire. Well, I showed up for you, and that could potentially destroy our relationship, because now your giving stops because you were only giving because I gave. When, not being funny, like I said, it's not to say that the person, or me as a person on the other end of that, doesn't want to give to you. It's just perhaps I'm not in a position to give to you. So does that mean that I'm not worthy of receiving because I'm not in a position to give to you? That's like, it's crabs in a bucket. This is one of the reasons why I believe it's really hard for us, you know what I'm saying, to get out of that crab in a bucket mentality, is because, let's say, just using it as an example, me and you, we both have this reciprocal relationship where I give, you give, I give, you give, and we're tallying, if you will, these giving moments, right? And perhaps in the giving, one time I give more than you, and so the next time it's your turn to give, I'm expecting you to give more, but you don't give as much as I gave previously. You're still in the deficit. And so now I'm looking at your giving needs to equate to what I've given, and you'll never be able to really get out of that deficit unless you do something grand, right? It's like, when do we ever get the opportunity to really rise if I'm always clocking favors? Because at that point, that's what it seems to me. We can try to, really sugarcoat it, but when you give with the reciprocal mindset, I truly believe that we're measuring, we're counting that favor. We're looking at what it cost us, how much it was, what I gave, whatever. It's like you're counting the burden of that giving, because it's not coming from a place of true love. It's really, in all honesty, disingenuous. So, saying all this to say, yes, how can I pour from an empty cup, but also understanding that my cup is restored by God, not by man, and I give from the overflow. So even if you're not able to give back to me, that doesn't necessarily cause the end of our relationship, because I had that to give and I really didn't need it back. And I don't have this expectation that you need to give to me the exact way I've given to you, but I allow you to give according to your riches. You understand? And from that perspective, it's like we're able to have more fluid relationships, and also we learn how to categorize. And by categorize, I mean there are levels to friendships. So there's different proximity, if you will, right? Like different levels of access that we give. And so if I know that this is my, say, friend who isn't necessarily in the same tax bracket or on the same level financially that I am, I would never expect that person to be reciprocal to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not really in a position to be reciprocal. And perhaps because I'm in a better situation financially, if I hold their feet to the fire, I'm doing them a disservice, and I'm stepping on their back. I'm going to use another term. It's like the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer type shit, We be so afraid to ask for charity because charity has gotten a bad rep. It's like nobody wants to be seen receiving charity, or even on the other hand, not being able to receive something back. And I think that's really what's destroying relationships, just being honest. But yeah, handheld. Love you, girl.